It's horse beef here. What is going on, everyone? And I really wasn't planning on making 3 videos on this topic. I thought it was going to be one and done, but there have been some new developments, and Rampage Jackson's statement on Instagram really blew my mind, and I knew I had to talk about it. But, aside from that point, there's really just nothing interesting going on in MMA these days. I guess I could talk about Darren Till knocking out Luke Rockhold, or Tony Ferguson's victory over Saul Poppy, which was beautiful to see, of course. But I found myself getting quite invested in Psycho Stu's recovery and his well-being, and I'm very happy to say that the man is apparently back home and recovering with his family. So that's fantastic, man. It's like best case scenario, I guess, considering everything that he went through. The fact that he came out of this with his life is a miracle, or with the ability to walk and the ability to talk and live a somewhat normal life. I mean, I don't really know the extent of his injuries. I know they're saying he upper jaw, lower jaw fractures, missing a bunch of teeth, and just multiple facial fractures. Just a nightmare of a situation. But the dude is such a tough individual that hats off to him for surviving that vicious attack, man. Like, I'm not sure that many other people would have been able to say the same, really. The man is just tough as nails. Hats off, Psycho Stu. It's fantastic, and as is commonplace recently, I will leave the link to his GoFundMe in the description as well. So whatever you can to support Psycho Stu, whatever you can do. Obviously, if it's financially possible for you and you'd like to, feel free, right? The link's in the description. But back on the topic of Rampage Jackson, who is the focus of this video. Of course, the focus is not Raja Jackson today. I was doing my best to keep Rampage out of it, right? Because Raja is a grown man, and of course he is a separate entity from his father. But I feel like Rampage Jackson recently, while trying to separate himself from what Raja has done, has just gone on to make himself look worse and worse and worse with every word spoken, including but not limited to pulling the race card on MMA Guru.
But people like MMA Guru, you know what I'm saying, that guy is supposed to be some kind of journalist, and his racism came out. His racism showing. You know what I'm saying? It's 2025, right? You know what I'm saying? People do shit. People do shit in this world. Some people fuck up. Some people do shit. It shouldn't get turned into race. Nobody wants to hear a bunch of racist shit about their son, no matter what race they are. He must don't have kids himself.
What'd he say?
I don't want to repeat what he said, but he said a whole bunch of. He said, like, he showed his racism, basically, what he did. Like, I'm from the South. The stuff he said, only racist people say. But MMA Guru, he has a platform.
Yeah. And
he should say neutral, because he's giving his opinions on fights and stuff like that. So now people going to be watching him when black fighters fight, and it's the shit he say.
So why can't you repeat what MMA Guru said? Why can't you repeat it? Right? If you're going to claim that he said racist shit, at least repeat what he said, rather than saying, "Oh, I'm from the South," and people in the South, when they say that, they're saying it to be racist. You cannot just make that claim, right? Because what Guru said, I'm not one to defend Guru all the time, but in this particular moment, Guru's correct. What he said was accurate to the actions of Raja. But even the point that, like, MMA Guru, he's some kind of a journalist. I mean, obviously that's not what he is. He's not a fucking journalist. But saying he's a journalist, therefore he should stay neutral. As if this is a situation to stay neutral on when the entire course of events is documented. Staying neutral makes no sense. Staying neutral is just not to speak on the topic at all. And I love the logic that he tries to put out there, as if that's the real reason at all. Like, hey man, you should stay neutral because, people are going to start looking at your fight breakdowns and thinking that you're biased against black fighters. Come on. You really believe that? Or do you just want MMA Guru to stop talking about the situation? Or be neutral in the situation because he's the biggest voice in the MMA content creating space, right? He has a massive voice. Is that why you want him to be neutral and not take a stance? Or is it because you're afraid that people might think he's biased against black fighters? Do you really care about MMA Guru's standing with black fighters? I'm doubtful. I'm very doubtful. And I want to give a quick shout out to Jeff Jarrett and Booker T, 2 absolute legends of the WWE who actually gave human opinions about the situation and didn't just speak on it from the perspective of a professional wrestler. They actually gave human perspectives, and speaks a lot to them as people. So I would recommend going and seeking out what they had to say about it. It's very telling, as well as this lawyer right here, man. Go watch this video. This is a very, very comprehensive video. It might actually be the best video on YouTube about what Raja did, because not only is this man a lawyer, but he's also a former professional wrestler, right? So he fits the bill for someone who's like really qualified to be speaking on this from a legal perspective, as well as from a pro wrestling perspective. So please go and watch this person's video. Believe me, he breaks it down in a beautiful way. But on to the meat and potatoes of the video right here, because I would like to cover Rampage Jackson's post, because I believe that he kind of makes himself look like a bit of a dum-dum here. Realistically, I was trying my best not to involve him in my takes. But yeah, unfortunately, he has to get it too now, because what he has to say is quite stupid. Now let's read through it together. He says, "This has gone too far. I'm sick of being quiet, letting all the low IQ people fall for clickbait." Low IQ is just the most ironic shit I've ever read in my life. Yes, my son took things too far, and I'm pissed at him for being a piece of shit and the way he handled it. But if Psycho Stu wasn't drunk and wouldn't have hit my son over the head with a real beer can, a real beer can, a real empty beer can, as opposed to a fake beer can being smashed in his head, which Raja said didn't even hurt, while he was live streaming on his own stream, then Knox wouldn't have felt like they had to make things right by letting Raja get his get back in the ring. All those mental gymnastics lead to Stu being the cause of his near death. You heard that correctly. If Stu wasn't intoxicated and didn't smash the can on Raja's head, he wouldn't have had an attempt in his life. I mean, that might be true, right? That might be true. If Stu didn't smash the can on Raja's head and apologize and shake hands with him, right, and squash the beef essentially right then and there, then Raja, like 30 minutes to an hour later, wouldn't have premeditated an attempt in his life, which, as we know, is equal. It's very equal what Stu did and what Raja. It's so equal that plus Raja said my bad. So why are we even talking about this still, man? Should be no controversy anymore. He said my bad. Fuck. Continuing here, it says, "If my son would have just went to the police when the beer can incident happened, then the whole event could have gotten shut down and he could have sued." Do you really believe that Raja would have gone to the police? Would you even advocate for your kid to go to the police because they had a beer can smashed on their head? You would really advocate for that? Because what you say later on in this post, in my opinion, very much contradicts the idea of just going to the police and handling with the legal system. And I'll spoil it right now. Rampage Jackson really suggests that if he was there, he would have gotten involved, and he didn't care if he got jumped by a bunch of wrestlers. So he's pretty much implying that he would have handled the situation physically. Yet he said that if he would have gone to the police and just sued, right, and just reported, got the event shut down and sued. But Rampage, you said if you were there, you would have handled it in a physical way. So what are you advocating for? Very contradictory. Well, let's continue on here. He goes on to say, "But no, my son is not as smart as I'd liked for him to be. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Now my family and I are getting racist threats." What is a racist threat? I'm not too sure what a racist threat is as opposed to a normal threat. Can somebody please shed light on what the fuck that means exactly? Because all of the misinformation being posted so content creators can get paid from viewers. Now in that case, he's not exactly wrong. People are milking the situation. You can even accuse me of that. This is my third video on the topic, but it is one that I am quite passionate about. But it's no secret that my last two videos on this topic did do well view-wise. So I mean, it's on a person-to-person basis what your motivation behind making these videos are. Me personally, I don't make YouTube videos for views. I just speak on topics that I enjoy speaking about. If I was doing it for views and for money, you'd probably find me posting the daily slop nonsense with absolutely no substance. But I have too much respect for you guys as viewers. And realistically, man, when it comes down to it, I was actually talking to my buddy the other day about this, about what we get up in the morning for. And there are many things in my life that are important to me, but one thing that actually kind of fills me with excitement and anticipation in life these days is this YouTube channel and posting for you guys and reading your comments. Genuinely speaking, I appreciate your support very, very much, and I believe this is a good opportunity to mention that. I know I mention it as much as I possibly can, but understand that you guys who comment, you're not just nameless, faceless people to me. I recognize each and every one of you. and I appreciate you very, very much. People actually think my son just snuck in a ring in front of a live audience and picked Psycho Stu up without permission to be there. That's actually not the case, Rampage. That's actually not the truth. And anyone who thinks that is ignorant and just didn't watch the full live stream. Like, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours of your time. I recommend going and watching the entire live stream because it lays out all of the context. There's never been a more incriminating case that I've witnessed personally because the man documented the entire string of events. No one thinks that he snuck in there. Everyone knows that it was set up, but he went too far. Nobody, at least that who I've spoken to about that attack, is under the impression that he just snuck in there and just attacked Stu unprompted. So I think that here Rampage is just addressing a point that nobody is really making. Get smart, people. It was staged, but Raja took it too far. Yes, see, that is the case. Yes, everyone knows that it was staged to begin with, but what Raja did wasn't staged. It's not just that he took it too far. No. He took it to a level that it had no place ever being at in the first place. He only shook his hand and accepted Psycho Stu's drunken apology. I love how he throws drunken in there as if we don't have the entire string of events on camera, documented by Raja's cameraman. Because they said he could get in the storyline. I love how he fucking exclamation points everything here. He was told he could fuck him up, quote unquote. I have witnesses that says this isn't the first time. Oh, let's see where this goes, man. Because I assume that Psycho Stu is about to get dragged through the mud by Rampage Jackson. Oh, wow. What do you know? Witnesses that says this isn't the first time that Psycho Stu has done some drunk shit backstage to a fan. Exclamation point. Yes, that definitely excuses what Raja did. Even if Psycho Stu had a lifetime of experience fucking with fans backstage while being drunk, that doesn't change what we saw. That doesn't change what Raja did. That doesn't somehow lessen the blow. That doesn't somehow put blame on Stu. The blame is on Stu for what he did, and then he apologized for his actions. Raja said, I get it, I understand. Seemed pretty chill about it until his chat and his father started to rile him up. And he went from, I'm not really going to hurt him, to I'm going to hit him as many times as I can until they pull him off. He proceeded to do exactly that. But then after they pulled him off, continued to hit him. Until Doug came in and saved not only Stu's life, but Raja's life too. Because Raja would be behind bars right now, facing a fucking murder charge if Doug didn't get in the way. Now we have the backstory that my son attacked an innocent military vet with PTSD, like my son knew everything about that man that came up from behind him and hit him, then asked him to sell. Okay, he didn't come up from behind him. He actually was right in his face when he hit him, so that is a lie. But wait. Like, my son knew everything about the man, but Psycho Stu was supposed to be privy to Raja's concussion, right? Psycho Stu was supposed to be privy to that. You're holding the fact that he hit a can over your son who had a concussion, right? You're always bringing up the concussion. Psycho Stu was, of course, not going to be privy to that, just like Raja wouldn't be privy to Psycho Stu's entire backstory. I don't think anyone is particularly mad because Psycho Stu was a military vet and Raja was supposed to be in the know. I don't think anyone's claiming that either, Rampage. I have my other kids to protect and I don't take kindly to threats. I'm not scared of prison or dying for my kids, and calling me names won't hurt my feelings. It sure seems like your feelings are hurt based on these posts, man. Seriously, like this comes across like, as they call it, a crash out. This comes across as a quote unquote crash out. My son should face the consequences for going too far. He knows better. That's why he didn't tell me about the storyline. But Psycho Stu is lucky I wasn't there when he hit my son over the head with the beer can the day after he got a concussion from sparring the day before. Right? So Stu was supposed to be aware of that, by the way. And this is the contradiction from earlier that I was speaking on. He's talking about how if Raja had just gone to the police like a good old boy, reported them, got the event shut down, and then sued, everything would have been fine. But Rampage right here is insisting that shit would have got violent if he was there. Lead by example, Rampage Jackson. I wouldn't have cared if a bunch of pro wrestlers would have jumped me. I'm a father first. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Let's all learn a lesson. Keep your damn hands to yourself. This is a lesson that I'm sure Rampage has learned on many, many occasions. If you get paid to do fake fighting, don't disrespect people that do this shit for real. Now I put myself in this. DM me now. So I'm very confused about what Rampage's angle is. You're sort of like denouncing what your son did, and trying to distance yourself and put everything on him, right? Hold him accountable. But then at the same time, you're saying don't disrespect fighters and play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's all very contradictory from Rampage Jackson, and quite frankly, low IQ Rampage. Very silly. Very silly. Rampage Jackson should just keep his mouth shut going forward about this, because every time he says anything, I feel like he makes things worse for himself and Raja. Like, people on the internet have the fucking attention span of a fish. So I would recommend that if you want this all to go away and you want people to stop talking about it, stop giving people shit to talk about Rampage Jackson. Unless, of course, no, it couldn't possibly be that Rampage Jackson himself is milking it for views and attention. Right? Flex that fucking genius level IQ of yours and maybe use some critical thinking for a second. Maybe a little bit. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to come in here and speak on Rampage's, recent post, give an update on Psycho Stu. Just talk a little bit of shit like I usually do, right? Show some support to Psycho Stu as well, and the good people involved in this whole case. But I hope that you guys enjoyed my take. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the video, right? If you're sick of me talking about this, just let me know in the comment section below. Of course, you guys are always allowed to criticize me. If you believe that 3 videos is too much on this topic, then just let me know, man. Let me know, because I don't plan on speaking on it unless some real serious developments that I believe I need to speak on come up. Otherwise, yes, this will be my last video on the topic, but it keeps developing at such a rapid rate that it's kind of hard to make that promise. But let's see how it goes, guys. But as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.